Hey guys, I have a new deck profile for Gladiator Beasts. Got some replays after this too. So, saw the new support, and overall it was pretty good. Not using all the cards, but the main ones we have are the new main deck monster. This is pretty good. Can make itself high level for a Tamer. Tamer requires 2 level 5 or higher, and that's your go-to. So, the other new support was Reborn spell. Can summon from hand or grave. Makes them immune to battle. We have the new Link monster. Can search a Gladiator Beast card and shuffle one to summon one from the deck while triggering the effects. So it's very good, very good. It makes the deck at least playable at this point. And we got a new fusion monster. Negates monster effects once per turn. And lets you choose the order of your opponent's attacks so you can protect your weaker monsters, which goes very well with the new Link monster that negates monster effects. So this way you can use up all the effects and protect it from your opponent just running it over. So the deck is centered around the normal monster. You want as many ways to get a Gladiator Beast on the field, and the effect Gladiator Beasts don't really have any support to do that. So normal monsters have a ton of support you can draw on, so you can summon from the deck, add one to the hand, and send it to the graveyard, which feeds into the Reborn spells for normal monsters. They're very good. All extenders. And the reason why you want so many extenders is, one, it makes your hands more consistent, but you also want to get to the extended version of the board. So the basic version of the board takes 3 cards, so you could have anything, regular monster token, a Gladiator Beast, and then a Reborn spell, or a level 5 or higher Gladiator Beast in your hand. With those 3 cards, you'd summon 2, make Test Panther, and then Test Panther would search out the one you don't have. So if you had a Reborn, you would add a high level monster. If you had a high level monster, you would add a Reborn. So then you'd be able to shuffle it back, summon the one from your hand, then go into Tamer, and Tamer would summon one of the fusions. So running Tenki and Proving Ground, extra ways to get the normal, but also extra ways to get a high level monster. This is essentially a proxy for a high level monster since it can send any Gladiator Beast to the graveyard, and then it copies the level. So very helpful for getting out Tamer. Now I'm not playing Rabbit because I wanted to play more cards that would hopefully allow you to play around your opponent's hand traps, and Rabbit is more restricted in the building, I feel. So with Connector, your opponent has to respond with their hand traps, otherwise you'll just discard them. And a lot of times you'll be able to get something else on the field, so you'll be able to just discard regular monster cards and look at their hand, which is pretty helpful, because if you're not playing against a monster dominant deck, then you know which boss monster you should go into, Heraclinos. So that information alone is pretty valuable, and can sometimes prevent you from losing, especially you can see if they have something like a Regeki or something, and you know what board to make. Sometimes you can't make both of them, so you'd have to choose. And also, if you are able to summon it, then you can discard a Gladiator Beast, which will fuel your Reborn cards, which is helpful. And this deck is heavily dependent on the Link monster, so yeah, they could just smarten up and save their disruption for the Link monster, not use it on Rabbit, and then your turn would pretty much be over unless you had something to prevent that, called by the grave, or Eagle Booster to protect your Link monster. And also, if you're using Rabbit, the best way is summon another monster, use Rabbit, get 2, go into the Link monster, and then you'd have a Link monster and a Gladiator Beast already on the field, which means you wouldn't be able to use Eagle Booster, so I feel it doesn't work nearly as well with the Sky Striker cards, which are pretty powerful. Sometimes you get the search card, an extra draw when you have 3 spells. And it's also helpful just to have more ways to get into Link Spider, so you can summon the normal from your hand. And you can always go into their Link monster to add an extra card, get a free +1, you get an extra discard for Heraclinos. And yeah, you got some Nightmares, in case you happen to go second. Any level, any Link 3 will do. This can help you bridge from Test Panther, use Test Panther in your Tamer to go into 3, and then you use a Reborn, special back, Editor, and summon a new fusion monster from your extra deck, and then link off your Link 3 and Editor into Appaloosa. And for the side deck, the deck can't really afford to bait out responses, doesn't really generate a lot of advantage, so you just want cards that absolutely deal with whatever your opponent made. So Tributing the monster, can't respond. Super Poly, they can't respond. And then for back row, Denko can't respond. And Trune just to clear the back row, or Twin Twister. A bit harder now that Judgment's at 3, they can negate it. So, now we'll get into some replays.